I don't compete. Everybody's an individual. Of course, I think I am the greatest comedian on earth.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't grab the mic.
Filed lawsuit accuses Tyler Perry of sexually assaulting an actor on one of the filmmaker's shows. Actor Derek Dixon has sued Perry for $260 million.
Tyler Perry, the billionaire mogul behind Hollywood's most successful empire, has been arrested. Yes, you heard that correctly. One of the most untouchable figures in entertainment is now at the center of a scandal so explosive it's shaking the industry to its core. What could possibly be hidden behind the walls of his multi-million-dollar mansion? And is this just the beginning of a much larger story? Stay tuned, because the truth may be darker than we ever imagined. The arrest of Tyler Perry isn't just a headline. It's the culmination of years of rumors, whispers, and a looming storm that no one saw coming. While the mogul's public persona has been built on a foundation of success, philanthropy, and resilience, a darker side of his empire has slowly started to come to light. At the heart of this scandal is a lawsuit filed by actor Derek Dixon, a former cast member of Perry's hit shows The Oval and Ruthless. Dixon accuses Perry of fostering a toxic, coercive work environment where unwanted advances and power plays were just part of the job. The lawsuit paints a picture of an industry titan who allegedly crossed professional lines in ways that left many uncomfortable and fearful for their careers.
If you're a victim, you're going to have to really tell your story in a very, very public way. What is interesting, though, is under California law, he could have filed as a John Doe or a Jane Doe, and he chose not to. So I thought that was interesting.
As the allegations gain traction, many are starting to ask, is this arrest the result of a system that's finally starting to hold Perry accountable for his actions, or is there something far more sinister lurking beneath the surface? The rumors are only growing louder, and Perry's camp is already scrambling to deflect the fallout. His lawyer has vehemently denied the claims, calling the allegations a shakedown and an extortion attempt. But as the case continues to unfold, the lines between truth and manipulation are becoming harder to distinguish. And this isn't just about one man's downfall. As the legal battle rages on, the scandal is rapidly becoming a symbol of Hollywood's deeper issues with power, exploitation, and silence. Issues that may have been buried for far too long. But the question remains, how much longer can Perry's carefully curated empire hold up under the weight of these explosive accusations? Just when you thought the story couldn't get any more intense, enter Sean Diddy Combs, a name that's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons lately. The timing of these two moguls' legal troubles is raising eyebrows, with some insiders suggesting that Tyler Perry's arrest could be directly linked to the ongoing scandals surrounding Diddy. But how? Both men are towering figures in the entertainment world, wielding enormous power and influence that stretches across music, film, and even fashion. And now, both are caught in a whirlwind of allegations that could unravel everything they've built. Diddy, facing explosive charges of his own, is reportedly cooperating with authorities in hopes of securing a lighter sentence. Could he have turned over information that led investigators straight to Perry? It's a tantalizing theory, and one that has Hollywood insiders on edge. Remember, Perry and Diddy's paths have crossed before.
Certainly be helpful, in addition to the text message evidence that we have. Sometimes victims don't want to come forward, right? You're talking about a rich and famous individual, and look at what's happened. Perry's lawyer came out and said, this guy's lying. This is a shakedown. This is extortion, right? They always go after the victim. And we don't know if the allegations are true in this case or not, but very few sexual harassment cases are reported or litigated, and oftentimes
they've shared stages, parties, and even had business ambitions that could have reshaped the media landscape. The high-profile bidding war for BET was just one of many moments where these two moguls were united in their quest for dominance. As investigators continue their deep dive into Tyler Perry's multi-million-dollar estate, one thing is becoming clear. The search isn't just about the obvious, it's about what's hidden, tucked away in secret vaults, rooms, and underground spaces that no one outside Perry's inner circle ever knew existed. And with each passing day, the stakes grow higher and the questions more unsettling. Sources claim that authorities have already opened doors to parts of the estate that haven't seen the light of day in years. Inside, they're reportedly uncovering encrypted devices, files, texts, and emails that could shed new light on the allegations against Perry, and that's just the beginning. Could these hidden spaces hold even more incriminating evidence, like confidential documents or non-disclosure agreements that could expose a network of silence and manipulation? If these rumors are true, it would be the final blow to the pristine image Perry has worked so hard to cultivate. What else might come tumbling out of these hidden rooms? The deeper they dig, the more the possibility grows that Perry's empire wasn't just built on success, but on carefully crafted layers of deception, manipulation, and maybe even more sinister tactics. The truth may be lurking just beneath the surface, and if these secret spaces hold the answers, Hollywood will never be the same. Hollywood is no stranger to power plays, but what if the real game isn't about talent or hard work? It's about who you know and what you can keep hidden. Behind the glitz and glamour, there's a darker side to the entertainment industry, one that revolves around an exclusive.
Easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Right.
However, when it comes to Tyler Perry, I will not allow you to discount.
Shadowy group of moguls who've built their empires not just on skill, but on connections and secrecy. Enter the so-called Billionaire Boys Club, a rumored alliance of powerful figures who allegedly protect each other's darkest secrets, no matter the cost. Tyler Perry, Sean Diddy Combs, and other moguls like them have long dominated not just entertainment, but multiple industries, from fashion to real estate, music to philanthropy.
What does it make those kind of
cowardly.
people? That is cowardly. See,
their influence stretches so far that many have speculated these men could control much of Hollywood's narrative behind the scenes. With such reach, is it any surprise that their secrets have been carefully guarded for years? The idea of the Billionaire Boys Club isn't far-fetched. These moguls operate with an unspoken code of silence, where the truth is often the first casualty of power. The ties that bind them aren't just business connections, but personal relationships that go back years. And as this scandal unfolds, many are wondering, could Tyler Perry and Diddy be a part of this tight-knit circle, one that's been operating under the radar for decades? As the walls begin to close in on Perry, some are speculating that the protection and loyalty once granted by this powerful group might be starting to fray. Could the very system that shielded Perry from scrutiny now be unraveling, exposing the darker dynamics of Hollywood's elite? And if so, how many other names, those who've long escaped public scrutiny, might be pulled into the light? The collapse of this silent alliance could be far more devastating than anyone imagined, sending shockwaves through the industry and beyond. Just when you thought the scandal couldn't get any more twisted, enter Maxine's Monster, Surviving Tyler Perry, a documentary that promises to expose the darker, untold side of Perry's career. This 3-part series had already begun circulating rumors just days before his arrest, and now, with Perry's legal battles intensifying, the documentary is starting to look less like an exposé and more like a terrifying prophecy. The documentary, according to insiders, is filled with accounts from former employees, collaborators, and even alleged victims, those who've worked with Perry over the years and now feel compelled to share their stories. What's most chilling about Maxine's Monster is the claim that it uncovers a sophisticated network of people who worked tirelessly to protect Perry's image no matter the cost. Could this documentary be the smoking gun that shatters the carefully constructed facade Perry spent decades building? If what's being said is true, Maxine's Monster could reveal the lengths to which Perry, and possibly others, went to silence critics, bury scandals, and manipulate the media. It paints a picture of a Hollywood mogul who's not just an entertainer, but a master of control, using his wealth and power to keep uncomfortable truths buried. But the real question is, how many others might have been part of this machine? Could Perry's collaborators, some of Hollywood's biggest names, have known more than they let on? As investigators dig deeper and more sources come forward, it seems the truth that Perry spent his career hiding is finally about to be laid bare for the world to see. And if Maxine's Monster holds even a fraction of the secrets it promises, the impact could be far-reaching, shaking the foundations of not just Perry's empire, but the entire Hollywood system that allowed him to thrive. Will the documentary expose the full scope of Perry's rise, or will it only raise more questions about what really happened behind closed doors? The answers may be darker than anyone can predict. Tyler Perry built his empire from the ground up, presenting himself as a symbol of resilience and self-made success. For years, he was celebrated as the man who overcame unimaginable odds to become one of the most influential figures in Hollywood. From his groundbreaking stage plays to his massive Atlanta studio, Perry crafted an image of triumph against all odds. But as his personal and professional life unravels under public scrutiny, cracks are starting to show in the carefully polished persona. What's become clear is that Perry's empire wasn't just built on talent, it was built on control. Perry has always been a man who controlled every aspect of his work, from writing every script to overseeing every deal. His fear of losing it all seemed to fuel his relentless pursuit of power and influence. But now, that same drive may be the very thing that's trapping him in a corner, unable to escape from the consequences of his actions. The world now wonders, how much of Perry's success was built on the backs of those he allegedly exploited? How many careers were destroyed in the shadows to maintain his spotless image? For years, Perry was the face of empowerment, particularly for Black culture. But as the allegations pile up, his carefully curated narrative begins to crumble. Portrayed as the untouchable mogul is now facing a reckoning of his own. What's even more troubling is the larger question this scandal raises about Hollywood itself. As Perry's empire begins to collapse, it brings the spotlight to a system that has long protected powerful figures, turning a blind eye to accusations of abuse, exploitation, and manipulation. Is Perry the first in a long line of moguls whose empire is about to fall, or will the system that allowed him to thrive for so long continue to shield others in Hollywood? Perry's downfall is more than just a personal loss. It's a symbol of Hollywood's deeper issues. And as his story unfolds, it forces us to question the true cost of success in an industry that thrives on power, wealth, and secrecy. As the dust begins to settle on Tyler Perry's arrest, the true impact of this scandal is only just starting to be felt. Perry's fall from grace is not just about one man, it's about the entire system that allowed him to thrive. Hollywood, with its glittering stars and towering moguls, has long been accused of turning a blind eye to questionable behavior, especially when it comes from someone as powerful as Perry. But now, the walls are coming down, and the questions about power, privilege, and secrecy are being asked louder than ever. For years, Perry's empire was built on a facade of success and resilience, but as the allegations pile up, it's clear that Hollywood's elite have been operating in a system designed to protect them at all costs. And this isn't just about Perry anymore. This is about a culture that's been allowing abuses to go unchecked. And now, with this scandal unfolding, it's clear that the power dynamics are being exposed like never before. The fallout from Perry's arrest is far from over, and it's not just a Hollywood scandal. It's a conversation about the systems of power, control, and exploitation that have been allowed to persist for far too long. As investigators continue to dig deeper, it's becoming clear that this is not just a fight for one man's reputation. It's a battle for the very soul of Hollywood itself. And as more names come to light, the question on everyone's mind remains: who's next? As Tyler Perry's empire crumbles, the entertainment world is left grappling with a slew of unanswered questions. Is this truly the beginning of the end for one of Hollywood's most powerful figures, or is there more to this story than meets the eye? While Perry's arrest has already rocked the foundations of the industry, the full scope of the fallout is still unclear. What will the long-term impact be on Hollywood? And more importantly, how will this scandal shape the future of power in the entertainment industry? There's also the question of what happens next for Perry himself. The man who once stood as a symbol of success and empowerment now faces a very different future, one where his legacy is under intense scrutiny. Will he be able to salvage any part of his empire, or will he become the face of Hollywood's reckoning? And what does this mean for the many people who've worked for and with Perry throughout the years, those whose careers have been shaped by his influence? Are they complicit in the cover-ups or victims of the same system that allowed Perry to rise to power? One thing is certain, the fallout from Perry's arrest will be felt for years to come, and the questions it raises about power, privilege, and accountability are only just beginning to be answered. What will the future hold for Tyler Perry? For Hollywood? For the many people who have been affected by this scandal? The answers are still unfolding, and the industry's reckoning may have only just begun. As the investigation into Tyler Perry's arrest continues, the industry is left with a stark question. Is this the start of a long overdue reckoning for Hollywood, or is this just another scandal that will eventually fade into the background? The truth is, the entertainment world has seen its fair share of shocking revelations, yet many powerful figures have managed to weather the storm, emerging relatively unscathed. So, what makes this situation different? As Perry's future hangs in the balance, the ripple effect continues to reverberate through the industry. What happens next will be telling. Will the entertainment world use this moment to demand accountability and reform? Or will this just be another blip in the never-ending cycle of celebrity scandals? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Tyler Perry's arrest has set a chain of events in motion that will have long-lasting consequences, not just for him, but for Hollywood as a whole. And with so many questions still left unanswered, the final chapter of this story is still waiting to be written. The industry is holding its breath, wondering just how far this reckoning will go, and who else will be caught in its wake.